Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I'm going to chat with you guys a little bit about something that is an observation of over decades. It's an observation both of people in the gym, myself, clients of mine, looking at the scientific research on body composition, and even though this is in conflict with things I've said before, and I do want to be clear, I understand it's in conflict with that. I'm acknowledging that. I don't think bulking and cutting in the purest sense really are necessary. They really aren't. In the context that yes, we can make lean gains, yes, small amount of lean or even recomposition is possible. And here's kind of the things you have to think about with it. And I think that there are exceptions to this rule, of course. Obviously, if you are at a body weight that is higher than your maximal muscle potential would be, at 12% body fat, you are going to have to cut at some point, if you want to be healthy, right? If you're going to do bodybuilding shows, you're going to have to do cuts, and then they're going to have to bulk also because they can't stay at 5% body fat. Okay, so I do need to differentiate that. For non-physique competitors, though, I don't know that we need to bulk and cut. We don't need to think of in-season and off-season. Okay? But what people have to remember, people get addicted to the gains in the gym that happen on a bulk. Like when you're in a calorie surplus and you're actively gaining weight, right? You're actively gaining weight. Your numbers go up quicker. Okay, because you are probably gaining muscle faster. If you're gaining muscle fast enough to gain body fat and you're pushing hard in the gym, you're obviously going to gain a little more muscle. Your strength is also going to tend to go up because of the better leverages and everything else. Okay, that's obviously going to happen. But if you can live with not getting those bulking gains and you're okay with slow, steady progress in the gym, it's perfectly acceptable to just focus on recomposition for most people. Again, I get it if you are obviously too light, right? I understand that. But that person's in a prime position to make some lean gains. Right, they're in a prime position to make some lean gains. But I would say to people, unless you're chasing a specific body weight, if you just want your physique to improve, just focus on a good, solid, balanced diet to keep your fat really low. This is the stuff that I would say. Make sure that your essential fatty acids are decently, there. Run a moderately low-fat diet. What do I mean moderately low-fat? Less than 20%. Well under 20% of your calories from fat. Closer to 10% is probably ideal if you can keep your diet high in essential fats. What does that mean? Mostly eating fish, some nuts or whatever. If you're doing non-animal stuff, tofu is great there. Right? Tofu and soy are phenomenal for that because they're mostly polyunsaturated fats. In other words, you need quality polyunsaturated fats. And you really shouldn't be trying to add extra fats to your diets beyond that. If you're pursuing maximizing body composition, you should look at non-PUFAs as kind of the enemy in general. Like you need to look at them and go, I really shouldn't be adding these to my diet unless I have to, or as a cheat day. Okay? You got to look at them that way. You need to be keeping your protein pretty dang high. I would say aim for that 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight. Right? You should be focusing on consuming that, hitting that every day. Right? But keeping that fat on the lower side, keeping that protein on the higher side. Well, what does that mean? Everything else is carbohydrate. But carbohydrates don't store as fat. Do you see where I'm going with this? If you were eating in this manner, even if you end up eating in a small surplus, what's going on with your gains? They're going to be all lean. They're going to be all lean. Okay? And what I mean is if you're eating 30 grams of fat a day and you train hard in the gym, you train really hard in the gym, and you're getting sufficient protein, you are going to gain very little ever, if any, body fat. You're going to gain very little body fat ever if any. You probably won't gain any. And we need to be clear on that. So what I'm saying is this is almost a cheat code. Now that doesn't mean you can eat 8,000 calories, but let's go back to that point. If you are eating a ton of whole foods, you're not going to hit those calories anyway. I mean, you can only fill so much brown rice and sweet potatoes into your stomach. There are upper thresholds. And again, if we are training really hard, we're putting in fair amounts of volume, especially in the lower body stuff, right? Your nutrient partitioning is going to be high. Insulin sensitivity is going to be high. You're not going to gain body fat. All right, and we need to be clear here. If you were eating in the manner I just described, training in the manner I just described, you're not going to gain body fat. Therefore, you're never going to truly bulk, are you? So you're going to just naturally, in periods when you're just not eating enough, you're going to naturally be in cuts. If you're having periods where you're forcing down some extra foods in the form of carbohydrate in that situation, it's going to happen. You'll gain a little bit more lean tissue, probably no fat. And then other periods of time throughout the year, if you're eating in this manner all the time consistently, you may just recomposition slowly. So even if you stay at, say, 170 or 180 or whatever body weight, you're probably every few months going to see a small change in body composition, right? But that's generally desirable. If your goal is to just look good and stay looking pretty good, you don't ever want to, lose the outline of some abs. Okay, this is perfectly viable. And it's not like you're going to gain less muscle over time, because the people who have to bulk and cut, they have to cut slow to keep their muscle. That's downtime from gaining. Whereas in this sort of situation, you're probably accruing some muscle tissue all the time. So you plot that out over 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Okay? You're going to be in a good place. And this is a difficult concept to get across to people. It's difficult to get across to people. Stuff I'll probably work with more and more as a coach. I've normally only done the strength training side and only nutrition advisement. But this is stuff that I think even a lot of my clients would benefit from understanding better. And it's something I'm gonna talk about with people more and more. I'll try to make more videos explaining this stuff in detail so that people understand it in a way that's comprehensive. Okay, all right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.